Olivia chose a quote from A Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. The aim of life is self-development. To realize one's nature perfectly, that is what each of us is here for. People are afraid of themselves nowadays. They have forgotten the highest of all duties, the duty that one owes to oneself. Of course they are charitable. They feed the hungry and clothe the beggar. But their own souls starve and are naked. Courage has gone out of our race. Perhaps we never really had it. The terror of society, which is the basis of morals, the terror of God, which is the secret of religion. These are the two things that govern us. And yet, I believe that if one man were to live out his life fully and completely, were to give form to every feeling, expression to every thought, reality to every dream, I believe that the world would gain such a fresh impulse of joy that we would forget all the maladies of medievalism and return to the Hellenic ideal, to something finer, richer than the Hellenic ideal it may be. But the bravest man among us is afraid of himself.
Morning, everyone. I think this might be my last assembly that I'm leading, so cherish it. I know you all will. I am a perfectionist. While this is deeply rooted and innate, it has also been groomed by an education system that indulges and rewards those who can meet unrealistic standards. Many of you know that before AUP, I attended a school that graded not based on what a student did correctly, but on the number of mistakes a student made. We were a living and breathing count of the number of mistakes you made on any given day. We didn't have percentages, we were a single number. You were a 0, you made no mistakes, it's perfect. 1, you made 1 mistake, you get the idea. The system encouraged students staying in the lines, retaining and repeating information. I was a robot in a world of humans, and yet I was rewarded for this. I had perfect grades, good opportunities. Fundamentally, I felt like this was the way to attain success. Then I attended a program called Make School. A lot of you have heard me talk about it. It's one of my fondest memories. Because I love problem solving, I love computer science. I was never really interested in the tech industry, though. I always wanted to go into research, be an academic. I wanted to live in this world that promoted perfection. However, in Make School, I learned this concept called an MVP. It stands for Minimum Viable Product, and it's an idea that all of the best tech companies employ. MVPs, it really means kind of how to get by with doing the least amount possible, something that I think a lot of our seniors can really identify with. I really loathed this idea whenever I first got there. It was something that I couldn't understand, I couldn't comprehend it. Why would somebody want to do the least possible? Why would they want to be as imperfect as they could? And then I experienced it without even wanting to. The first weekend of the summer, I built an app called Libby. It was a fun, simple idea that I thought would allow me to apply the programming skills I was learning about. I decided to put it on the App Store just to learn how to get Apple approval. Suddenly, it got 600 downloads and I was mortified. My name was associated with a buggy app that was little more than a list on a phone. And so I took it down. I spent my summer working on another app, an app that eventually became technically perfect, but I can guarantee that none of you have ever heard me talk about that one. A few days before demo day, the presentation at the end of the summer, my mentor took me out for coffee and gave me the exciting news, Olivia, you have been selected as one of the 5 students to pitch on demo day. Except you have to pitch Libby. I was dumbfounded, shocked, even angry. And then I realized that while Libby was far from perfect, it allowed me to solve a problem that no one else was. It allowed me to innovate rapidly, to create without fear of making a mistake. Above all, I was doing something in a unique way. Imperfect solutions are still solutions, and many times they are more progressive and innovative than those that are deemed perfect. Perfection stagnates innovation. Now, the idea of an MVP is not only applicable to the tech industry. I learned this in Dr. Wager's English class. I love literature. For me, literature is an escape, a way to question a theoretical world in hopes of better understanding my own world and even maybe myself. When I came to AUP, I wrote good English essays. I employed correct grammar, pretty good dictation, safe arguments. From purely a technical perspective, some might call the essays perfect. But they weren't interesting. They weren't anything that hadn't been argued before. I suppressed my ideas and arguments. I was scared. I was terrified to make a mistake, that I would write essays that I did not care about. Dr. Wager pushed me. He challenged me to portray a unique perspective, to question the world of literature, to question my own world. For months, I couldn't. Safe essays are closer to the establishment-defined perfection. Then we read a play, 6 characters in search of an author. That forced me to question the fundamentals of my life, to even question reality. I wrote perhaps the least technically impressive essay I have ever written, an essay I never would have dreamed of submitting a year before. It was an MVP through and through, but it brought up arguments no one else had. It was a reflection of my individuality. It is the piece of writing I'm most proud of. The one I still think about, the one whose ideas I'm forced to question with every book, every play, every news article I read. It allowed me to expose myself, my thoughts, my fears. I had to face myself. Perfection was a shield I hid behind for years. I didn't have to face my own mentality if I was focused on achieving everyone else's idea of perfection. Perfection limits progress. It limits innovation. It encourages you to play by the rules. It rewards those who don't push boundaries. It's safe, it's easy. People understand the pursuit of perfection. But this isn't the world I want to live in. I seek to exist in a sphere of innovation, and I encourage you to do the same. It's not easy. I'm still a perfectionist. I think a lot of you know. But my goals have fundamentally shifted. Do not strive for perfection. Strive for innovation. Strive for individuality. Strive for progress. And be proud of your ability to ask questions that no one else is. Be proud of your ability to solve problems, and be proud of what you were able to accomplish, not in spite of its lack of perfection, but because of it. Thank you.